In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start closing 5-figure deals even if you haven't closed a single one before. This is a full step-by-step breakdown completely for free. It's breaking down the same process that I used to go from working a minimum wage part-time job in high school to closing over 7 figures in high-ticket deals before turning 19. And no, this isn't about cold DM spamming or a get-rich shortcut, but showing you a real, repeatable skill that companies are willing to pay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for. The skill that gives you complete freedom, confidence, and the ability to work from anywhere. By the end of this video, you will know how to confidently use my proven framework to close high-ticket deals so you can start building a real income and escape the 9-to-5 path that 99% of people settle for. So have a way to take notes and pay attention because the next 40 minutes could change the rest of your life.
Let's jump into the process now, how we actually close that 5-figure deal in one call. And before we jump into the mechanics of it and the framework itself, we need to understand what we're accomplishing in this closing call. The first thing you need to understand is that prospects are coming in with a current state and a desired state. And taking a sales training offer, for example, they may be coming in saying, I'm currently just a college student working a part-time job and on track to get a 9-to-5. But their desired state is I want to be a high-ticket closer. I want to be in high-ticket sales. I want to be making a lot of money there. Now that gap is probably about this big. Now, everyone has a current process going into this. Their current process that they've been trying to use to get from their current state to the desired state. That might be, I'm just watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to get into high ticket sales, break into it, and get to where I want to go. That's their current process. We need to make them realize that it's not working because they wouldn't be on that call with you if it was working. And then we have to make sure they realize that not only is their current process not the way to get from their current state to their desired state, but that your service, your mentorship, your coaching is going to be the thing to get them there. So a really overweight person, we need to make them realize that just drinking more water and going on walks in the morning isn't going to make them lose 200 pounds. But getting the right diet and right fitness plan through our coaching is going to get them there. That makes sense. Now, that's a logical gap. You're logical selling them. And so that's good. You need to make sure that they logically are in agreement with you, but we also need to get them to realize that they emotionally need this, right? Because the logics is great, but we need to build this gap to be really large. And how do we do that? Through emotion. So if they logically, to not have to work a 9-to-5 and to get into high ticket sales, they need your service, that's great. But that's just logics. People don't buy off of emotion, off of logic, they buy off of emotion. So how we do that is we start to bridge this gap. And the way we do that is by digging into pain, which is going to be getting now that current state to not just look like I'm in college working a part-time job, but I'm in college on track to work a 9-to-5. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 because I don't want to be stuck in this cycle of go to work, come home, tired, wake up, go to work, come home, tired. I don't want to be stuck in that cycle because then I'll have no control over my time. I won't be able to live my life, won't be able to spend time with family, and I'll be living paycheck to paycheck. I won't be financially free to do all the things I want to do and provide for my family in the way that I want to. We want that to be their current state, and how we do that is through questioning and digging into their pain. And then we want their desired state not to look like I'm a high-ticket closer, but to be, I want to be financially free, not tied to a 9-to-5. I want freedom to travel. I want to spend more time with my family. That's what their desired state really needs to look like. And the biggest way to build the gap even more is through future pacing. So it's not just this is their current painful state, but if nothing changes, what will it look like in the future? And then their desired state, not only how would it change if you were a high ticket closer right now, but how would their future state change if they're a high ticket closer versus just continue doing what they're doing right now? And then we also need to tie it to their family and loved ones. That's a really big way to build that gap. And so that is going to be the process we need to accomplish in a high ticket sales call to actually close the deal in one call. Now jumping into the framework and the mechanics of how we actually close that deal in one call and how we accomplish this gap, how we build this gap wide enough, and how we actually close the deal after building that gap. First thing we have is obviously that casual intro. To actually run this call properly and get everything you need to make sure they're in a professional environment. So after having that very casual intro, make sure, their guard is lowered. You wouldn't jump straight into a call talking directly about sales. No, you're not going to. Because when you meet someone for the first time, you want to be a little casual, be personal, be human. But we want to make sure 3 things in this intro. First, their camera is on, because to have an actual human connection to sell, you need to have that face-to-face. It has to happen. So always make sure their camera is on. If they joined off their computer, they don't have a camera on it, get them on their phone. That face-to-face connection is extremely important. They need to be stationary. So if they do join off their phone, have them prop it up. They can't be driving, they can't be in their car and all of that. They need to be in a very good environment. You need to be in an environment that a deal is going to get closed in. Is someone going to close a deal in a fast food restaurant while they eat? No. Do people close really big business deals usually while they're just sitting in a car? Are they making big investments? No. Their environment needs to be conducive to closing. Best place is at home. Right? They're comfortable at home. It's a good place for them to get closed. So make sure they're in a good spot. Then we're going to be setting the frame. So the purpose of this call is to get to know a little bit more about where you are now, where you want to be, and to see if XYZ service from XYZ person can help you get those results you're looking for with XYZ. What do I actually mean by this? This is, for example, with a sales training offer, how you are going to direct the entire call. So with a sales training offer, I'm going to say the purpose of this call is to get to know a little bit more about you, where you are right now, and where you want to go with sales, to see if getting some more advanced coaching with Brahm can help you get those results you're looking for with sales. Or if they were someone who's already in sales, you say, and if getting that more advanced coaching with Brahm can help you increase your commissions with sales. So the wording of this changes based on the offer and all the information, but this is setting the frame of the call. It sets authority. They see you as the expert, and we're going to be in a better position to actually direct the call and guide them. And it sets almost this doctor's frame. Like, you're not going to go into a doctor's office, go up to the receptionist and be like, hey, I have some lower back pain. And they tell you, okay, $10,000, this is what we're doing to fix it. $150,000 surgery, that's how we fix it. No, they're going to inspect you a little bit more. They're going to ask you some questions. When did it start? They're going to do some x-rays. And then they're going to offer it to you later, right, of what the actual solution is. And so that's how we need to frame the call. Is like, we're here to see how we can actually help, and if we can actually help them get the results they're looking for. And so that is frame setting, and that's what we're going to be doing there. Then we're jumping into logical agreement. So you need to be in a logical agreement with the prospect that what they're doing right now is not going to get them to where they want to go. So the easiest way to do that is ask a question, something like, so what are you seeing that has you looking to get more advanced training? Right? So with sales training, what are you seeing currently that has you reaching out to get more advanced sales training with Brahm? Right? Like that's another example. And so this is it's an open-ended question, and it's going to give them the floor to talk a little bit about why they are looking for your service. Why did they fill out that form? Why are they hopping on this call today? And they'll usually talk about an issue, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind for all of them. Is like, I need more guidance. I'm struggling with XYZ. And so then we're going to ask into that. Well, what have you been doing to try and solve this issue? And then you're left with usually 2 answers, right? One is they're trying to just solve it on their own. And the other is that they've invested into other services. And so we're going to treat these both slightly differently. If they are just trying to do everything on their own, I'm going to ask something like, so what about that process of just watching YouTube videos, asking ChatGPT questions and all of that, has you looking for additional help? And this is going to have them start talking about the flaws and the holes in their process right now. Let's say I was selling a marketing agency. I'd be like, so what's your process of actually acquiring leads right now that has you looking to get more additional help with your marketing? And then I'm going to ask a question like this after we dig into this. So sometimes you're going to have to ask some additional questions, but that's on a call-to-call basis, right? So you're going to ask them, get them to just talk a lot about why they need more help. And then I'm going to ask this question. Most people see the need for more advanced coaching with their sales, but they end up just sticking to their old habits of watching YouTube videos, asking ChatGPT questions. What has you this committed to increasing your commissions with sales that you're taking action on it? This is going to get them to talk about why they actually need to take action now. They're going to start giving you reasons like, okay, I need to take action. I need to invest in myself. I need sales training because of this, right? Not going to figure it out on my own. And this is going to be how we start tying into their pain. Now, the other way they could go is that they've already invested in other service, or they're looking at other services, right? Then I'm going to start with addressing that, because that's an objection waiting, right? If they've invested in other services, oh, are you guys a scam? Are you guys not going to work like the other times? So I'm going to ask them like, okay, where else have you been looking? Or who else have you worked with, depending on the situation? Now I'm just addressing it, right? That's an open-ended question. I just want to discover a little bit more about this answer that they gave me. Then I'm asking, what about those experiences still has you seeking out additional coaching? What about those past mentors you had wasn't so great that you're still seeking out additional coaching? And then we're getting a little bit more like, okay, why does he still need coaching? And depending on their answers here, if it's very straightforward and you can just move through this, that's great. Sometimes you might have to branch out. But this is how we uncover those objections and you're actually able to pre-handle. Then we're asking, well, most people, when they have one bad experience, they just give up or fall back into their bad habit of trying to solve everything on their own. Why is that different for you? These are for those people that had those bad experiences. Right? Or I could ask, after those bad experiences, what has you still reaching out to get XYZ help from XYZ person? So after those bad experiences in the past, what has you reaching out to get more additional training from Bahram? Right? Usually the reason why they're still willing to reach out and get more additional help is going to be because of the person itself. They trust the creator. So if someone had a bad experience in a trading mentorship, right? They bought a Discord server and it just sucked. And they're going to TJR to get more trading help with TJR. You might say, well, bro, after those bad experiences with those other trading mentors and Discords, what has you still reaching out to get more advanced help with trading from TJR specifically? And so this is all getting them to realize, like, okay, these were my bad experiences, but this is why I still need more help, still need to commit to getting more help, and this is why I'm coming to this person. And so this is still going to get them sold on why they need mentorship and why they're coming back for. We're bringing all those pieces up, but we're doing it in a very passive way. We're not selling it. We're just getting them to talk about why they need mentorship from this specific person or why they need the service from this specific person. And so this is where we're going to start connecting to pain too, of like why they're still reaching out, right? Because they still really need help. And then we actually start digging into pain. And so a very easy way to start digging into the pain, depending on answers, you can get into this many different ways depending on the answers you get from this question or these questions. But a good way is just to push back, right? Because a lot of them are going to say, well, what has you committed to this? Well, I really want to get XYZ. I really want to make more money with sales. I really want to, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. After those bad experiences, what has you still reaching out to get more help from XYZ? Well, I just really need a good marketing service for my business. I really want to be making more money, right? And you dig in that, and then we're going to push back. This is a great way to enter it, right? You just say, oh man, everyone wants to make $10,000 more per month with high ticket sales, but 99% of people don't take action and commit to achieving it. Why not just take the easy route and continue current process? So a good example would be like, well, I can imagine a lot of people working construction would love making $15K a month online on their own time from their laptop, but 99% of people don't take action and commit to achieving it. Why not take the easy route and just continue XYZ process? Why not just continue working construction, take the easy route, accept the comfortable paycheck? And then they're going to talk about what is so important about getting out of their current situation. Because we said, why not take the easy route? That's going to direct it towards pain, and they're going to start talking about why they can't take that easy, comfortable route. So while we're starting to get them to dig into pain, it's in a frame of why they can't settle, and we're still building urgency here while we dig into pain. And then they're going to start giving you answers like, well, I'm just not making enough. I can't stand this paycheck to paycheck. They hate the control over their 9-to-5s, freedom, all this stuff. They're going to start giving you a lot of pain, and you just need to dig into it. And that's on a call-to-call basis. You just have to ask into it. The biggest tip I have for that is always stay curious. So you should be wondering more. Like, if someone asks, I don't want to be stuck where I am. That's a good answer, right? They don't want to say stuck. That's an all right answer. But is that super deep pain? No. So we're asking stuck. What do you mean stuck? And now they're going to start talking about what they mean. Well, I'm just in this 9-to-5 cycle. I wake up, then I have to go to work, and then I come home, and after a long day at the 9-to-5, I'm just tired, right? And I just want to better be able to provide for my family. What makes you feel like you can't best provide for them now? Right? So I'm taking their answer that isn't terrible, but it's surface level, and I'm digging into it. I'm going a step deeper because we want them living in their pain. We want them really feeling it. And then we're going to future pace it a little bit, right? So, if you don't make a change and commit to achieving XYZ result, what happens in the next 6 months, year, even 2 years? So if you don't make a change and commit to increasing your commissions with sales, what do things look like in the next 6 months, year, or even 2 years? And they'll say nothing changes, right? Or they'll stay where they're at, or it doesn't look great. And sometimes you can dig into that like with an extra question or two. I don't want to dig into that too much, but I can dig into that a little bit and then say, well, are you willing to settle for that? Are you willing to settle for that being your reality? And this builds almost a consequence too here of inaction, and it future paces them. And then we're getting into desire. So this builds a lot of pain, and then we're jumping into the desire part. We do that right after uncovering pain, so they start seeing this gap very naturally. And so after digging out deep pain, we're going to build this large gap by escalating them to living their dreams. We had them almost living in their pain. Now I want them living in their dream state. And so you could start off just by getting a logistical result. Okay, so what results are you looking for with sales? Oh, well, I want to get into high-ticket sales and make $10K a month. Okay, so how much are you looking to increase your commissions with sales? How much weight are you looking to lose? If you had the right marketing strategy actually implemented into your business, how many extra booked calls per week would you want to be seeing? And around how much more revenue would that generate you? So there's so many different examples here. These are 3 more, right? Okay, so what do you want to be making per month in commissions? What results are you looking to get with the right ad strategy? What are your goals with fitness coaching? There's so many different ways to ask this question, but we're getting at just a simple result. And then we're asking, why is that your goal? What makes you set that goal at $40K a month in commission? And so I'm really getting them to start breaking past just that surface level, right? And more into their why. So we want to get into that emotion behind it. And this is where we're, again, just digging into the results. So let's say they say, well, $40K a month, I get financial freedom. Freedom to do what? How would that ability to do XYZ feel? How would financial freedom impact those around you / your family? Oh, I'd have more time to myself. I wouldn't have to work a 9-to-5. I'd have more time freedom. Freedom to do what? How would having control over your schedule impact your life? How would it feel? Who would you get to spend more time with? This breaks into like the family and loved ones. Location freedom to go where? Why is that important to you? And again, always try to connect to family and loved ones if possible. And so we're digging until you hear and see them living their dream life. So we're digging into their dream state, and then we want to actually see them physically when their camera is on, that they're like smiling, they're living in their dreams. And then we're jumping into creating a large consequence, because now we've basically gotten them, we've escalated them into this dream state, this like peak right here. And then if we consequence right after, we slam it back down and it makes the gap even larger. And the goal here is just to make them see a large consequence of inaction. It's going to build urgency and a reason why they need to close today, why they need to make a change today. So how I do that is very simple. Do you feel like you'll be able to get to XYZ dream state if you just keep doing XYZ process? For example, do you feel like you'll be able to help your family with bills, travel the world, buy your mom that car, and be there for your future family how you'd like if you just stay on this path of college and getting a normal job? It's a very simple way to build a consequence because we're just using everything they just told you and just asking a very curious question of, do you feel like you'll be able to get there just from what you're doing right now? And I ask it in a way that like, I don't know, could you? You kind of act stupid there. It's like, I don't know, could you? And they will say no every single time. If they said yes, you did not do everything we talked about earlier. They will say no every time. And then you're like, oh shoot. And are you okay with that being your reality? No, I'm not. Okay, well, why commit to taking action now? I mean, not a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are not okay with their situation, but they don't do anything about it. So why commit to taking action now to ensure it isn't your reality rather than putting it off for another week, month, even year? So we're just getting another why now here. Why do they need to take action now? It just builds that urgency so that they actually take action today. And then we're transitioning to pitch. Very simple introduction to it. Based on our conversation so far, I do think we can help get you from XYZ pain to XYZ dream state. Let's break down a game plan on how we can do that. Sound good? Now we're just introducing a game plan. I'm not going to ask for a permission here, right? That sound good? And they're like, yeah. Okay, sweet. And now we're going to get into the pitch, which we do a simple 3-pillar pitch. We don't need to go over for 20 minutes the best things that your service has to offer because that's not what they buy off of. They buy off of, yes, logically it's going to help them, so we need to check that box, but they buy off of emotion, right? And so we built the gap, right? Now what we've done is we've made them realize that they need coaching, right? They can't keep doing their current thing, and we've built a large gap with their pain and desire. Now we just need to make sure that this is just checking the box that this is the mentorship that gets them to their desired state. So all we need is 3 primary value adds, the big 3 always, right? For most coaching, it's like video modules, coaching calls, and a community. Those are like the big 3 usually, right? For maybe like a fitness offer, it might be like dietary planning, live training from XYZ person, like live checkup calls, and a positive community that supports each other. I don't know. I don't know many fitness offers, what they actually offer in there. But 3 primary value adds, and then you want to attach personalized value to each. So, for example, if you were selling a video course as one of the primary values, you're going to attach personalized value. Oh, yeah, you mentioned, man, that you were watching those YouTube videos and you just couldn't get the full picture. Right? You would just search around, you'd find so many different things. Things weren't making sense. You just couldn't get the full picture. Well, now you're going to have A to Z everything you need to know, right? So you're actually attaching personalized value based on the answers you've had from earlier in the call. This way, it's not just a product they're buying, but they're buying a solution to their personal problems. Now, the pitch should only be around 3 to 5 minutes because we don't want it taking away from the most important thing, which is keeping them emotional. And so it should only be 3 to 5 minutes. Don't go longer than that. It depends on the lead and what you feel like they're going to want. Explain to them, but it should be 3 to 5 minutes. And make sure they understand as you're going through. Like, incorporate some questions, right? I'll be like, yeah, and what did you mention was wrong with your current process right now of getting leads? What did you mention was really wrong with how you're trying to increase your commissions? Like, what were you kind of struggling with finding? And then I'm going to add the value, right? So that they just tell me. It's like, I'm really personalizing this solution, right? And getting them to resonate with what I'm saying by restating their flaws in their process, then explaining what we do to fix it. Then after we do the pitch, we actually have to tie them down and we have to temp check. Because if we drop price on someone and they have underlying objections, they're going to come out and now we're objection handling after price, which is much harder. If we can identify all those objections they may have before price and really tie them down to the solution, then we're not going to have many objections. And even if we do, we'll have so much ammunition we've built up throughout the call that when they give us those objections, they're very easy to handle. So it's very important to make sure there aren't any underlying objections, that the prospect is fully sold before dropping price. And so like I said, this is your last chance to pre-handle. You should be pre-handling in discovery, but this is your last chance. And so after I pitch, I'm like, okay, so does that game plan and process make sense? Do you have any questions? If they have any questions, I'm answering them. Right? Sometimes be like, do I have time for this? When's this? When's that? Blah, blah, blah. Answer all the questions. Make sure the full picture and the full solution is clear to them. And do you feel as though what we broke down today will genuinely help you get to and then the results goal? So do you feel as though what we broke down will genuinely help you increase your commissions from 10K to 20K? I'm not inputting the whole thing of like, to help your family and all of that yet. This is just the results goal first. We want to ease back into it. Don't just rush it and tell just the results goal. Yeah, I do. Oh, how so? And now not only we're telling them what's in there, now they're going to retell us what's in there and how it's going to help them get to their goal. So it's just strengthening the sell right here before we're dropping price. We want to build up. And then we'll be like, okay, so perfect. So scale of 1 to 10 for you, man. 1 being, I hate this, get this off my screen. 10 being, this is the process I've been looking for to get me from XYZ to where you want to go. I don't know what this typo is, but is this the process that you've been looking for to get yourself from XYZ current state to XYZ dream state? So an example is to be like, okay, perfect. So scale of 1 to 10 for me. 1 being like, I hate this, get this off my screen. 10 being like, this is the process I've been looking for to get me from 10K a month in commissions to 20K a month in commissions. They'll be like, 10. If they say 10, I'm going to be like, damn, that's confident, man. What's got you at a 10? Right? Because we don't want them just being like 10, okay, 100%. Right? Because sometimes people just say 10, right? They just say they're confident. So I'm going to tie it down. Damn, that's confident, man. What's got you at a 10? They're going to explain. Okay, so you see this getting from, now I'm going to say, you see this getting you from, just working this 9 to 5, not being able to provide for your family and stuff, to being financially free, being able to spend more time with your family, travel, buy your mom that Jeep. Yeah, I do. Okay. Now we're getting a confident yes, right? We're really tying down this 10. They're 100% confident, make sure of it. And so we're getting a confident yes. If you don't get a confident yes, and when I ask this question, they say, yeah, I think it could. I think. We want to get a confident yes here because you can break out any underlying objections here. It's like your last chance to. And so we get that. And if they say anything less than a 10 when I ask that question, scale 1 to 10. Anything less than a 10, I'm like, okay, that's solid. Sometimes depending on the lead, I can be like, okay, man, that's solid. So you hate me like a little bit. If those 2 missing points had a voice, what would they be saying? So if they said 8 out of 10, that's what I'd say. If those 2 missing points had a voice, what would they be saying? And now they're going to tell you the objection. They literally tell you it right there, right? They would be telling me they'd be telling me that, like, I don't know, I don't know if I have the time for this right now. Or sometimes it's like, well, I mean, like, you can just never be 100% sure something's going to work, right? And you can pre-handle the uncertainty objection, right? So pre-handle all these objections here and don't move on until you get a 10. Unless it's truly just like I just need to know and like see it for myself happening. And you can ask that question like, okay, well, obviously, like, you never know anything for 100%, but just in the game plan that we've broken down, what's your confidence level that process works and will get you to where you want to go? Get them just at a 10 confidence in the solution at least, right? And 100% bought in, no crazy objections here. We really just want them at a 10. Do everything you can to get them to a 10 because we're pre-handling almost everything there. And then we price drop and we attach value and results to the price drop. So I'm not just telling them, yeah, okay, so the investment's $5,000. Now I'm saying, okay, so everything we broke down today, restate in short those 3 pitches. So the video modules, the coaching calls, and the community to surround yourself in to get you out of XYZ current situation to desired state. It's just a simple one-time investment of 5K USD, 5,000 USD. That's how you're actually price dropping. You gotta attach value again. You gotta restate the value and their results to that price drop. So that is how we go through the entire framework, taking you from just the intro all the way through to dropping the price and closing the deal.
So look, everything I just showed you has the potential to change your life if you actually apply it. There's no reason why you can't close 5-figure deals now and start building the kind of income and freedom that most people your age only talk about. At this point, you have 2 options. You can try to figure out all of this alone. Spend months looking for offers, making mistakes on sales calls, and wondering why stuff isn't clicking. Or you can skip all of that and work with someone that has already done it and has helped tons of students go from 0 to consistent 5-figure months. If you're not already hitting a consistent 10K per month, you don't need more YouTube videos. You need the right training, mentorship, and placement. That is why I built the High Ticket Inner Circle. It's a program where I personally help you master the skill of closing and place you on proven, high converting offers so you can start making real money fast. If that's what you want, hit the first link in the description. You'll get access to the training, the live support, and the guaranteed placement. Everything you need to win. Make sure you like this video so you can come back to it. Subscribe for more content on high ticket sales and remote closing, and I'll see you inside the Inner Circle.